Hey everybody, it's Chase. So before we get into this video, I want to say a few things. Um, I expect that this video it'll probably be abrasive. There'll probably be a good amount of cursing. I wouldn't be playing it with your children in the background. It's going to be my thoughts on everything, right? This is going to be more of a state of crypto video than a analysis or specific education of technique video. I understand that, first and foremost, I want to say, you know, I feel, because me being sorry for it does nothing for them, but I truly feel for all the people lost, and who lost on this. It's crazy to me, right? Because I realize that it could have been me. I realize that it could have been any of us, really. When you have an exchange of this magnitude, that's supposedly, compliant with U.S. and working with, the United States government to, bring better regulation of crypto and all this stuff. I mean, regardless of my disdain for the exchange that I've voiced in the past, I would have never expected this outcome for FTX. Okay, so that's first and foremost for all the victims. I truly hope you're made whole somehow. I don't know necessarily how it can happen or how you'll be fixed. I feel terrible for you guys. I feel terrible for the space. Feels like we've been moved back years. This is the worst thing I've seen since I've entered crypto. And I'm just going to preface it with that, is that really, this is about the victims first and foremost, and I hope you guys find a way to manage. I wish I had, 8 figures of net worth or something and I could help people. It's just not the case. I don't have enough money to hand out to 50 DMs and stuff. It's just not possible. It's truly a financial tragedy for our space, and I'm sure a financial tragedy can often result in actual tragedies, and it's just all in all, it's terrible. So, with that said, moving forward, we'll just do a bit of a timeline. I have a notepad that I wrote out in case there's things I wanted to cover. I usually don't. I didn't really pre-write anything for this. I sort of just have little bullet points noted for things to talk about. But first and foremost, just getting into this whole thing, and when I saw the news, couldn't believe it. And I want to tell you guys what I did. Basically, right when I knew that FTX was on the verge of bankruptcy or whatever, or when CZ pulled out. And this is me letting you guys know, the 100% truth about what I did. I did not take any losses on this, but what I did decide to do, and I tweeted this as well, was I took literally 90% of what I had in crypto and took it straight out to USD. Very large portion of my net worth, not stables, not on any exchanges, straight to USD. Okay, that's what I personally did. My opinion of stables is that they are relatively safe, but I refuse to live in fear. I refuse to live with that risk, and I don't see the value of me having a bunch of stables right now. Mainly the stables were to buy, dips on Bitcoin and ETH when they got to levels that I was interested in. But I'd rather just have those funds in USD and take the fee hit or something if I need to buy through Coinbase or whatever. It's going to my bank, right? It's going to a traditional bank. But if I need to, I'll just, send in some funds from my traditional bank to Coinbase, buy it through there, pay the couple $100 fee or whatever it is when I'm ready to buy. And it is what it is. But I'm not going to sit in this ecosystem right now. I do still have some funds in this ecosystem. And again, just letting you guys know the whole scope of what I'm doing right now. So it took about 90% of my funds out. I I still have 10% in, and that's for trading and just buying any potential flash dips or anything. Those funds are split between Prime XBT and Bybit. Prime XBT is the sponsor of these videos. What I do want to say is that I cannot guarantee the safety of anybody's assets. I think we've seen from this week's events that a CEO of a company can go from lying one day about the safety of assets to being bankrupt basically the next day. So I don't think there's any way for trust to be restored without proof of reserves, third-party audits, whatever it is. I'll take a sip of water. Probably need a lot of those throughout this one. I don't think there's any way to restore that trust, and I'm not gonna ever ask you guys to trust anything blindly. I think we were all pretty blindsided by this. And I've often said, your signups and your deposits help me, and that is true. And I'm still probably going to say that in future videos. But what I ultimately recommend is that you need to do what's right for you. So if that means that you need to pull basically all your funds to make sure that you're safe, or you need to pull 90% of your funds like I did, I do not blame you. You have to do what you have to do. And in my opinion, the landscape is pretty grim. Now, like I said, I did have a conversation with a high-level person inside of Prime. He assured me that everything's fine. I do have personal funds on there. I also had a talk with someone at Bybit. They said everything's fine. I do have some funds on there. But if any of these exchanges were to go down, I wouldn't be ruined, right? Like previously I would have been ruined if like crypto collapsed or something, but now I'm very fine. And that makes me feel so much better. And again, for those who lost, I feel terrible for you. And I know, I'm sure you wish you could be, in my position, someone who's whole, and have an opportunity to get out. And I really wish you did have that opportunity, and I don't think you should blame yourself or anything. I think this was a freak event that most people did not see coming. Literally, even high-level employees in FTX didn't know that it was happening. It's basically only like a few people, Sam, Caroline, and whoever else. So, yeah, with that said, you got to do what's best for you, okay? Just thinking about it, I'm just going to pull up the notepad so I could see things that I wanted to talk about. And thinking about the space in general, I have to imagine that we've been set back years, honestly. And like I said, this may be a grimmer outlook, and things are very fresh, right? So maybe I could change my tune in time. But the way I see it is that the space has lost trust. Even the hardcore people who have been here for years, like myself, have lost trust in the space. People are exiting the space. They're taking their money out of the space. Newcomers to the space, in my opinion, have to be non-existent. Who's going to talk to their friends and say, oh yeah, thinking about getting back into crypto, and they're going to say, oh, well, didn't you hear? Luna got rugged, and then, 3AC fucking rugged everybody, and then FTX, the second biggest exchange in the world, fucked everybody. Who wants to join this? Who wants to come into this? Because I'm not seeing it. All I'm seeing is negative. I'm seeing and if we look at the chart here, I'm seeing a massively parabolic run-up during QE infinity by the Federal Reserve. That's what they call it, QE infinity, unlimited money printing, essentially. I'm seeing this insane run-up, all while, we've talked about this, a perfect storm of COVID where people are locked in their homes and all they could do is buy things. Easy access with Robinhood and all this stuff. And I had replied this to some tweets when people were getting bullish, as they usually do, trying to bring everything down to a level playing field. But we know how crypto Twitter is. It's all about engagement over reality, and bulls are going to be bulls. So I think that this was a perfect storm. I think this is the top for at least the next 3 to 4 years at the minimum. That's my true opinion. Maybe, I don't know, maybe 2 years. Maybe it's the top of all time, right? And I know now I just gave you a bunch of different answers, but I think that's the top for a while. Let's put it that way. I think that this was a pretty once in a lifetime thing, and it seems pretty crazy. And I don't think we're getting back up here anytime soon. I would say we're looking more like getting down here in time, and we're gonna have to figure out whether 12K is support, right? We're gonna have to figure out whether, because you know how levels work, right? We're gonna have to figure out whether 12K is support. Who knows what we're gonna do on it? Is 12K support, or are we gonna learn that 12K is actually resistance? Okay, so that's what we need to know, and that's what's coming up, in my opinion, over the next year or two. In general, about what I'll be doing, I will still be trading ES, BTC, and Ethereum. Those will be my main 3 assets I'll be trading. We'll still be doing the weekly video. And I'm here, I'm ready to grind with you guys, and ready to put in the work, and hopefully, we could try to build back. Some other things to talk about. I found, and obviously, Kobe's great for the space and whatnot. And he does a lot of great things, he's very charitable to the community. I think he's a great guy overall. Slight judgment mistake, I think, on bringing Do Kwon on the podcast. I understand everything was crazy at the time, so I don't fault him for it at all. I think a lot of us said a lot and did, a lot of crazy things and some emotional things and whatnot. Basically, my point here is that I think that this space really needs to get better, and this is something the CEO of Kraken said as well. And I'm sort of taking the idea from him a little bit, but I've felt this way myself as well. I think this space really needs to get better at weeding out these obvious snakes in the grass, these rats. Look at, fucking Suzu comes back with one of his stupid fucking long-winded tweet thing like he's some sort of genius, and everyone like greets him with open arms. Like, this guy's a piece of shit. Right? He shouldn't be getting any attention. Do Kwon, this guy's a piece of shit. Kyle Davies, this guy's a piece of shit. Trabuco, piece of shit. And then you have like your lower downs like fucking Algod, who are this guy's always been a piece of shit, right? He's he's saying, oh well, why can't white people say the N-word? What else did he goes around commenting that technical analysis doesn't work on everybody's tweets. Guy's just desperate for attention, a true fucking loser in real life, obviously. So he needs like a ton of internet attention to make himself feel better. And then he goes, apparently, like, I can't confirm this for sure, but then he goes and apparently buys a Bahamian KYC in order to withdraw funds, and his partner and him are in a Discord or a Telegram or something and buying people's FTX accounts for 10 cents on the dollar, and then he's withdrawing millions of dollars through a fucking KYC that he bought for $100K. Now, I don't know to what extent this is all true, but I saw a lot of evidence on it on CT, and this is exactly what I'm talking about. Like, these are the type of people that we need to show no attention to and get them the fuck out of our space. These are scumbag, dog shit human beings, and they gotta go. SBF, Caroline, the ugly cunt, Do Kwon, Suzu, Kyle Davies, and to a lesser extent some of these CT personalities that are basically trying to profit off of others' misery, from what I've heard. Again, what I've heard. See what else to talk about. And when it comes to FTX and Almeida too, like I said, the signs were never there that they were going to rug their entire customer base, but we the signs were there that they were scumbags. SBF and all his altruistic bullshit, walking around looking like a fucking bum every single day when you're worth $16 billion. That's bullshit. Driving some fucking $6,000 car when you have $16 billion. That's bullshit. That's a safety hazard, by the way. Like to you and your family and your establishment. The whole thing is ridiculous. Almeida, obviously front running our fills. I've said this many times in previous videos. Anytime I've used FTX, I always gotten front ran. And I'm not even trading any type of special size. They're front running everybody somehow. They're tagging stops to the fucking tick, and then prices reversing. Whatever was going on that exchange with the lag, the shit UI, I've tried to close position before, and it's like doubled my position in the opposite way. Like, the fucking exchange was always garbage. That's why, it does surprise me that people stayed on it, but I can't fault them. Excuse me, I feel like I have to burp, but... So, yeah, the exchange, in my opinion, was always dog shit. Never liked it. Yeah, that's why I took my funds off there within a week or two of trading. I was profitable on BitMEX, I was profitable on Binance, and then Binance switched to like that I don't know if it was $6,000 withdrawal without KYC or what it was. I forget what it was. It was something very low. Maybe that's even wrong. So I was profitable on Binance, and then I had to leave Binance. I was trying FTX and Bybit. I was on both of those. And FTX, even though I guess I was slightly profitable on FTX, I don't remember any large losses or anything, but I do remember tons of times not getting limit fills for like the month I was there. And then price would literally go to my target like perfectly, but my limit fill got skipped by like a couple of cents. So I don't know, whatever was going on over there was something fucking crazy. And if you talk to people who like understand like order books and flow and all that shit, they'll tell you that like the books over there were fucking weird. And I'm not one of those people, but that's just what I read for the most part. I really just look at the charts. Yeah, so, and I mean, for Almeida to have such an advantage, to be able to see the customer's order flow, to be able to, invest assets that aren't theirs, for every single advantage that they had. And for those losers to still fuck it up, I mean, my God, what a bunch of fucking idiots. And now hopefully going to jail. And I guess that's to say my piece with them, because they deserve what's coming to them. Taking all these innocent people's money. All those advantages they have, excuse me, all those advantages they have, and they still couldn't fucking win. What a bunch of losers. Alright, what else we got? Yeah, I think we talk about taking profits next. Look, this is something I've talked about, thoroughly over time, but I want you guys to use this downtime to really reflect as well. Now that you see what it really looks like, when you go back and you watch that video of me telling you how I'm selling in here. I told you guys, I said it. I said I'm selling in here, and I'm recommending that some of you guys, or I didn't even say some. I said I'm recommending that you guys do the same. It was one of the most bold statements I've ever made when it came to like a macro call. And the reason I made such a bold statement was because I could see the combination of absolute froth in the market. I could see the perfect storm. I knew that the perfect storm was upon us, and that's why I was DCA selling and getting out, because I knew that it was bullshit. I knew that pictures of squiggly worms shouldn't be selling for $1 million. When I saw that, I started dumping even more. I literally remember it. I said, man, how fucking stupid is this? All these idiots buying these fucking pictures of squiggly worms for hundreds of thousands of dollars. I'm getting the fuck out of this market. And that's when I went heavily into USDC and USDT. And speaking of that, yeah, basically right now I'm like 70-30 USDC and USDT, favoring the USDC side. Okay. You gotta take profits, guys. You have to. Stop being so greedy. Stop being so greedy. Greed is the downfall of this whole space. It's the downfall of fucking Suzu and Kyle. It's the downfall of Alameda. It's greed. Just, you're making, not you guys, but they were making hundreds of millions of dollars. Why do you need more? It's absurd. It's ridiculous. It doesn't even make any sense. The greed is consuming everybody. That's why I don't have fucking 8 figures, even though I've been here since 2017. I'm not that greedy. I'm okay with living an above average lifestyle, a comfortable lifestyle where I don't have to worry about what I pay for my food, where I don't have to worry about, if I'll ever have a roof over my head. But at the same time, can I buy 3 Lambos without worrying about it? No, I can't. Probably not even 2. It's stop being greedy. It's just dumb. It's stupid, and people's greed are costing them everything. Take profits. That's it. Take profits. Low time frame trades, macro ideas. Take profits. There's always another trade, and understand the situation that's around you. Understand the bubble. Understand what it's going to look like when it deflates. Reflect on it from here and move forward with that. All right. I don't know what's in my throat. All right, let's talk about NFTs. Another huge bubble. I'm known as an NFT hater. That's fine. I always say the same thing. I do think they have utility. I do think they have a place in the future. But when it comes to these PFP things and everybody doing the same artwork from fucking Fiverr, they're all going to zero. I remember some big hype around some stupid fucking shit called Goblin Town, and they would do these spaces. And they all sound like a bunch of fucking idiots. Well, that shit's like, I don't even know, it's down like 10 times or something. It's down to like 0.8 ETH or something. If those guys would have stopped chatting in the space to each other. By the way, those spaces, some of them were fucking hysterical, even though they were complete idiocy. But if they could have recognized that euphoria and that idiocy, when you can recognize that, they could have sold. And they could have got a lot of USD for that. They could have got a lot of ETH, converted it to USDC, and they'd be doing a lot better. Instead, a lot of those guys probably rode that shit to the ground because they don't know what taking profits is. They're greedy. They're a part of this space, this NFT space, that thinks that there's something special. It's just another flash in the pan when it comes to these PFPs. And especially as the landscape gets more and more grim, it's the outlook is not good for anything in crypto. I don't think I have much more else to say about NFTs. I think the community remains strong ultimately, but I expect that it slows down and it winds down. And I expect that only NFTs that already have some type of pre-utility built in. I think the empty promises, I think people are done with the empty promises. You can't just, buy an artist on Fiverr and pay him $500 to give you 5,000 pictures and, bring in 300K. I think those days are over, and I hope they're over, because that's truly some scam bullshit, and we all know that all the money just simply goes to the devs' pockets, and all the fucking gullible people who buy them are fucked. All right, what else we got? Yeah, I mean, the current landscape, the current landscape and how to trust, from my page there, I think the current landscape is all about trust, and I think to even restore some partial trust in this space, we're going to need all those exchanges to release those proof of reserves. Binance, Bybit, whoever else you could put in there. Who's ringing my doorbell? Hold on. It's just a package. We'll get it later. Sorry for the dog. You guys know how it goes. So yeah, until we see all these exchanges really show proof of reserve, and by the way, I also told that executive at Prime XBT that I'd like to see them work on getting proof of reserve. So, I mean, he said he'll bring it up with, the company in general and whatnot. Hopefully that's something they head towards as well. But without a wide scale, change, I find it that people are going to have a very hard time trusting this space. I don't see new entrants coming in. I see a lot of even OGs. I've seen OGs from 2012, 2013 saying, this is the first time they've ever thought about leaving. Now, look, I'm not leaving because I still think that there's good trading opportunity here. I think there'll be squeezes. I think there'll be an investment opportunity eventually. And I don't know when that investment opportunity is, right? And we'll play that by ear. But I do think there's still opportunity in this space, and I have a lot of friends in this space, and I have you guys in this space. Sorry, the dog keeps messing my train of thought. And I have all you guys in this space, and the amount of you guys who have come to me and say that I've taught you to, pass certification for a funded account, or you turned your life around money wise, or I helped you take profits, or I helped you, get off, said exchange, right? I don't want to take credit for that because, but I had one guy saying, thanks for talking shit about FTX at one time. You helped me take my money off. But at the same time, it's not like I called anything here, right? Not at all. I'm not trying to say that whatsoever. But, I have you guys here, and I appreciate all the kind words. And, I want to keep doing this for you guys, as long as, at the same time, I don't bullshit you. As long as there's some benefit to me as well, in which, I have a sponsorship for these videos. And I appreciate, the community and my friends here, and I want to keep this going. So I'm staying here. We're going to keep working. We're going to keep grinding. What else we got? Oh, yeah, another thing that's terrible is that, regulators are going to have an absolute field day with this. In my opinion, well, not even my opinion, there was a lot of, government and big names that are going to look really fucking stupid now. And these politicians, they do not like to be made to look, they don't like to be made to be look dumb. Wait, why can't I say this? They don't like to be seen as dumb. All right, let's just put it that way. And what Sam did is making them look dumb. They all backed Sam. Sam was their guy. And now all these politicians look like absolute idiots, and they're gonna take that and come down with that, that firm hammer, and say, oh well, this is why, blah blah blah. If we can't even trust this guy, we can't trust no one. Need to protect the consumer. That's another reason why I got a lot of funds out. Is I don't know what the hell they're gonna say or what they're gonna try to do. I don't know, maybe I'm overestimating it, but I don't know. To me, it seems ugly. It seems like regulators are going to have an absolute field day with this, and they're going to use it to get as much control as they possibly can, and I don't like the sound of that, okay? For anyone who had questions about how I usually keep my crypto, I've talked about this in the past, but I use Trezors, or whatever you say. Trezor. I had a few different ones in case one ever got hacked. I don't think they're very hackable. I'm not sure. I've heard some people talk about it, but it's a seed phrase, right? They'd have to hack the seed phrase. I think so. I had a few of those, but again, I took most of the funds off. I just feel safer now, to be honest. I don't have to worry about stables. I don't have to worry about the long arm of the law. Don't have to worry about a hack. I just kept some money on Prime. I kept some money on Bybit, and I'll use that to trade crypto when I want to. And if something was to ever happen with stables or any exchanges or the space as a total, I would, don't get me wrong, I'd be upset. I certainly don't want to lose, 10% net worth or whatever I have on. It might be like 8% net worth or something. I really don't know the exact number. But I'm still okay, right? I'm still more than okay. And that's where I think you guys should get to. You guys should get to a place where you're more than okay, even if things were to go badly. What else we got? Bitcoin maximalism. Yeah, I hear a lot of people. I heard in some spaces today people talking about, don't be in stables, don't be in anything, just be in Bitcoin. And then and they say the same stupid fucking shit all the time. They say, oh well, if I just hold the Bitcoin I had in 2010, I'd be a billionaire. Yeah, it's not fucking 2010 anymore. We had QE1, QE2, QE3, QE4, QE infinity. We had the ultimate perfect storm. It's not the same. Holding Bitcoin now is not the same as holding it back here. What are you, fucking stupid? Look at the chart. So maximalism is fucking retarded. I guess that's like not a PC word anymore. I shouldn't use that word. Sorry about that if so. I have nothing against any disabled people. That's just, me. I came up in a time where I was playing Counter-Strike, and we were saying a whole lot worse shit than that. Times have changed, right? But nonetheless, no hate against any people of that kind. It is what it is. But yeah, you just gotta be stupid to say stuff like that. It's ridiculous. So he's saying, oh, just hold Bitcoin. If I just held Bitcoin back in 2010, oh, I'd have so much money that, yeah, no fucking duh. So would I. But your paper hands couldn't hold it even when it costed you 10 cents and you still couldn't hold it. So who the fuck is gonna buy it now at 16.8 and just hold it, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Maybe it could be a good buy. I mean, we got some levels here, right? But no. In my opinion, I still think we go lower. I still think we need to test some real levels. Like I said, I talked about this early in the video. I talked about that early in the video. This isn't a levels video anyway. But yeah, just so you have my basic thoughts. And yeah, I mean, who is, like I sort of already talked about this, but who's sticking with this shit? And I mean, like I said, you even had OGs talking about leaving the space. Who wants to come into this space? And when all you hear about is people getting robbed from, I don't know, man. It seems grim to me. Like I said, it really seems grim. And then we'll go off the top. Let me see what this. Yeah, where did the rug stop? I mean, we don't know where the rug stopped, and we don't know what the risk is. What other companies had risk in FTX, in Alameda, and how that's going to stem and affect other companies and other entities in crypto and whatnot. I mean, this could still be just beginning. I know the news cycle is calming down in terms of things for us to learn in the short term, like we were waiting for the official bankruptcy tweet and whatnot, but when it comes to, I guess you say, contagion, I think that's the word, when it comes to the contagion of other companies and whatnot, we still don't know, and there could be a lot more people blown out than we know about, and that'll all be revealed in time. Alright, so let me think for some final thoughts here. Yeah, so for final thoughts, again, my heart goes out to people who lost funds. It really does. It could have been me, and if it was, I would have been devastated. So I completely understand how people are feeling. I wish I could help more. I really do. It's just crazy to me. It really is. And it was really a wake-up call to me. It was really a wake-up call for me to get a lot of my stuff the fuck out of here and into a safer place. And when I said that, of course, I had people saying, oh, well, traditional banks ain't any safer, blah, blah, blah. Well, look, I can tell you something. If the bank that I bank with goes down, I got a whole lot more problems than money. All right, and at least it's FDIC insured for a bit, and obviously you got to add beneficiaries and whatnot to get more coverage. But point being, at least it's insured to a degree, and I think it's really the last of my worries if the type of bank that I'm with goes down. I think there's a whole lot bigger problems then. I think you cut that nonsense out. If you want to talk about what's more risky, the crypto space right now or traditional banking, I think the crypto space is much more risky. And yeah, it was just a huge wake-up call to me. Not sure why it took so long to wake me up, but I mean, we don't know what's coming, right? We have to think about the future as well. Who else was affected? What happens if we head down towards Saylor's liquidation price? Um, who has exposure, any type of leveraged exposure to Bitcoin or Ethereum if prices go down? What exchanges could possibly go down? Who has exposure to S&P or some type of exposure that we don't know about? When markets really get grim, things start to break, and while markets like the S&P have the Federal Reserve to come in and backstop them like they did on COVID, crypto doesn't have anything. You know what crypto had in COVID? It had fucking Arthur Hayes, and since BitMEX was a monopoly, he was able to pull the plug and save Bitcoin. Otherwise, it would have went to zero. I was there watching it live. There was only a $20 million bid on BitMEX between 3,000 and zero. A $20 million bid, and then he pulled the plug on the whole fucking thing, and trading just stopped. The whole market just went flat. And I presume that would be the equivalent of like today's Binance basically pulling the plug, and everyone would wait for Binance to come back online because they do 20 to 40 times the volume everybody else, or whatever the number is. Yeah, I mean, Arthur Hayes, he's the one who saved Bitcoin during the COVID crash. But if we were to see Saylor get liquidated, and we don't have anyone to pull the plug this time, and it's just a free market thing, I mean, who knows who's exposed, who has to sell, forced sellers, forced liquidations, and I'm not trying to scare anybody. I had to think for myself, what is the worst case situation? And I ran through it all in my head. I thought about him getting liquidated and what does it do to the stablecoin pegs, and I don't know. It's just too much risk for me. I had to get the fuck out, and that's it. Anything else? Yeah, just in general. Yeah, I really feel for everybody. I really do. I wish everybody the best. Again, do what you need to do for yourself. I never put my own personal gain or my own personal agenda above what I believe the truth actually is. And that's why originally when I came on here, I said, if you need to pull from Prime or anything, even though the executive told me that everything's good there, I fully understand. Still going to do my job. Still have to somewhat, promote. But at the same time, I do want to say that I think it's on the individual to think what's best for them, and I personally do not have any type of risk in the system that would hurt me in any way, really. I would be okay. If it goes down today, I'm okay. And I think you guys should all think about that and follow that same route to a degree, right? If you're a millionaire outside of crypto, you got $1 million in the bank and you got a couple $100K in crypto, okay, you're fine, right? It is what it is. Do what you want with your money. But if you got 20K to your name, maybe only keep 2,000 inside of crypto or something, right? Be smart with your money, guys. Could be grim times ahead, not only in crypto but macro in general. Try to be smart with your money. That's it, right? Usually a non-emotional person. It's definitely been a tiring week. A lot happened this week. I was definitely out of my element in terms of participating in some more news and drama stuff. Rest assured that we will get back to regular scheduled programming, and with trading and learning and teaching and all that stuff. And, really do love my following. I appreciate all you guys. It's something that I, say, but, usually skim over. But this week has really made me reflect on, the years that I've spent here and how a lot of it can just go up in flames like that. And I don't want to see that happen to anyone else. Don't be next. Be smart with your money. And let's keep grinding, right? That's all we can do is keep grinding, and we're gonna try to make it back. All right. hope you guys can, have a good week. I understand some of you will be at a loss, and I truly wish you all and your families the best. All right, Chase out.